I'm human. I'm going to have moments where, I feel extra vulnerable, where I feel frustrated even. These are the moments that really show you who you fucking are and what really matters to you. I'm going to have those moments. What I'm not going to do is let those moments beat me. These moments, right? They don't define me. They don't come in and tell me who I am as a person in my identity. It doesn't impact my self-esteem, my self-worth. When you really create a connection with yourself in your heart, the spirit in your heart will pull you through fucking every time. I'm playing to win. And when you're playing to fucking win in life and you're driven by mission, it's a completely different everything. Everything is different and it's intense. This is the Roxanne Show. Get ready. It's time to rise. Here we go. 3:28. Apparently I just had lipstick on my teeth, but my team over here. And that's how we're dropping into this one. Welcome back to the Roxanne Show. I have a very in the moment, real-time interception of an episode for you today. I love when this happens. Over the last 7.5 years that I've been recording this show, it's happened a couple times where I come into studio and I have very specific things that I want to speak about. And for whatever reason, whatever went down that day, I decide game time decision moment to put those ones on the shelf, which I'm doing today, and I will get back to them. And then bring you into just what my community likes to call Roxy Rants, what I call, and just really just share and channel what the energy I'm moving through is like what that energy wants to come out and say. One of the reasons for this, I think, is so important for me is I'm too real to fucking honestly, I'm not an actress, right? I'm FaceTime, I'm on camera, public facing forward, but authenticity is really authenticity to me. And it's a very complex subject. It's one I speak about all the time. But in this moment, it felt really uncomfortable to think about all the energy that I'm moving through and then stuffing that away to try and then come on and talk about the other things that I intended to talk about. And you can look at that in maybe a couple ways. And I grappled with this in my mind a little bit on the way here because I was already feeling this shit, am I just going to, game time decision, switch it up? The one thought was, but wait, is this the sign of, the mark of a true, performing badass if you could just kind of, gather your shit and then continue on with what you intended to do and needed to do? So the answer to that would be yes, I think that's true. If I was on stage doing my TEDx talk, yeah, I'm probably not going to switch it up. But this isn't that moment for me. This is my freestyle moment. I get to do whatever the fuck I want to do right now. And in these moments with all of you, with my community, and if you're new here, I'm so happy you're here. I hope you stick around. Hopefully something that I share here will resonate with you. In fact, I would say that if this is your first time finding me, then there's probably some energetic match for a very specific reason that you found me in this moment. But I think it's just so valuable. I talk about authenticity. I talk about resilience. I talk about, rejection and mastery, of your emotions. And, I talk about all the things I talk about. So this is like a real moment where I get to show you in real life how I actually move through a fucking hard day, a hard moment for me. And I'll go ahead and say that it's not some acute situation, like nothing has happened, right? sometimes it's just it's the compounding residual impact from just being a fucking hard driver with standards of excellence. And no, this is not for me. I'm not a type A perfectionist. I know a lot of people would want to argue that with me. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm just fucking Rocky Balboa. Just like in the fucking arena every day, creating from my heart, from my soul. This is my dharma, right? I'm over here talking to my friends in studio, and I was saying to them that there is nothing else that I'm here to do. Let me explain what I mean by that. So if there are other, let's just say, business ventures, those things are coming as the result of the work that I do here, right? Like my writing, my podcast, my speaking. This is the foundation. This is the core piece. This is what I know my soul came here to do. I'm an oracle, right? That's my mystical way of putting it. I'm a scribe, right? Like I am a communication wake up artist. I'm very clear on that. I know that about myself, right? And so there is no backdoor. There is no anything else. There's only this. And what's so cool about really knowing that is that it might not be fun, but it's pretty cool. On days like today, where you just feel you as an I in this moment, I'm just carrying the weight of all the pressure and the work and the, all of that. You just have to accept it, and you just go, okay, today is one of those days where you're just going to get your ass kicked, mentally, if the inner bully wants to come in, most certainly has, emotionally, because the inner bully can trigger emotions. So the narratives, the stories, the loops, like you just start playing out things in your mind that, just create low vibrational energy, right? I'm on my cycle. It's just get a little harder, like perimenopause, like that's a real fucking thing. Like shit is real, right? But what's sort of like almost like the light in the dark in these moments is that, for me anyways, is that, yeah, and it's par for the course. Like it's just part of the journey. In fact, I call these moments, there's an essay in my book that I'm writing, The Truth in You Knows, which will be out very soon. I call these moments the best part of the story, because these are the moments that really show you who you fucking are and what really matters to you. I'm human. I'm going to have moments where, I feel extra vulnerable, where I feel frustrated even, like what I'm putting so much in and maybe I didn't get that result that I wanted, or, fill in the blank of reason of frustration related to this kind of scenario, right? I'm going to have those moments. What I'm not going to do is let those moments beat me, these moments, right? They don't define me. They don't come in and tell me who I am as a person in my identity, right? So meaning like it doesn't impact my self-esteem, my self-worth. And even I would go as far to say my self-confidence. I can have moments for sure where my confidence gets its ass whooped, but my confidence always gets the fuck back up. Like my confidence does not submit, right? I'm unrelenting when it comes to anything that I care about and that I'm, moving through my life with, from that vision, passion, purpose, energy, like I am with really all facets of my work, right? My work is really, I don't have a career, I have a mission. It's very different, right? And so this is just one of those moments where, maybe you're in this moment. Maybe you're feeling that, fuck, can I kind of have, just catch a break, take a beat, like whatever that is for you, whatever that feeling is. But it's ultimately this feeling of where you're just, you just want this big, long exhale. You want a hug. You want a victory, something to just kind of release a bit of the compounded, interest of just fucking showing up every day and giving it everything you got. And then feeling like there's just, there's a lot of wonderful that comes with that. Certainly in my world, holy shit, there's so much, but there's also a lot of, where you have to manage so many moments that feel like that, just where you're being tested. You're just being tested. And there's a lot of reasons, I was also saying earlier how, we have these things, right? These things, phones, for those of you not watching this. And all of us, especially someone like me who's, I hate the word content, but because I prefer experiences. But I'm creating, and so you have social media and all that. And so this whole idea of not comparing is, I certainly am in my own lane, and literally I'm in my own lane, like every fucking day. I'm not looking at what she says or he says, or I don't care, with all due respect, like good for you. But there's still a reality of you have to see things, right? And this is why I'm also so protective of my early mornings. I talk about this. I'll just insert this in case you haven't heard it yet. But, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not grabbing my phone. Like, no, fuck no. Like, I am leveraging this sweet spot of your brain waves, quick little, neurobiology. So you move from theta brain waves, just talking about the sleep, like right before you're waking up, you go from theta to alpha. And theta is when we can tap into the subconscious, right? So if you think about visualization, and if you think about, sort of programming yourself for success, right? That sweet spot of your brainwaves, like that's it. That's the gold, right? And it happens again right before you fall asleep at night, right? So the last thing that I'm going to be doing is taking the external world in, because I don't know what I'm going to get when I open this shit. Like I don't know. And you think you could have all this control, but one little thing could just intercept your mind, your brain, your thought, your thinking, yourself, ultimately, your most valuable attention, or your most valuable resource, your attention and your energy, right? So it's just safer to not do that. Like, put the fucking phone away, right? So I'm very, very particular about how I start my mornings, and making sure that I drop into energetics that are going to help me to win and to thrive throughout my day. I totally forgot why I started talking about the morning. Why did I start talking about the morning? Do you remember? It's okay if you don't. Like, why the fuck was I talking about the morning? My morning ritual.
Quiet, you don't look at screens.
Yeah, no, there was some other shit there. Those of you watching and listening are like, it's because you were good. And I'm like, where were we? I'll just pick it back up. It'll come to me at some point. I'll be like, do you remember? Okay. Energetics. Don't remember what the fuck. We're just gonna, but this is what I'm talking about. I'm not, by the way, I'm not cutting this out. This is staying in, because I want you guys to understand the fucking reality of it all. Like the more, look, there's so much out there that's polished, that's curated, that this right here is proving that I am not a perfectionist. Fuck off. Whoever was like, I don't know. No, excellence, being driven by excellence and being a perfectionist are two very different things. Okay. Let's just, and that maybe I'll save that for another episode. No, but I think it's just so important for my audience anyways. I want you to really know me, and to know I'm not one of those, like, let me get on Instagram and fucking cry either kind of girl. Like, that's just not my thing. Like, I'm not, but I can share these intimate, real moments with you. Absolutely. I have no problem doing that, because I like it. You see my resilience. You see all the fire that's always coming out of me. And, when I'm talking about things, there's conviction, but I want you to understand where it comes from. When I'm talking about being fucking resilient, when I'm talking about persevering and fortitude and, that capable energy and being unrelenting, when you're pursuing anything that matters to you in your life, and ultimately just how you carry yourself within yourself for yourself. It's coming from these fucking moments. It's because in these moments, I don't submit, right? And I also don't bully myself, or at least I try not to. I might have moments where the inner bully can start to come in, but because my self-awareness is so strong, which is why I always fucking talk about the importance of self-awareness, and because of my self-awareness, I've been able to create a relationship with myself where I actually really love myself and I respect myself. So that bullying won't go on for fucking too long, like at all, because my self-respect comes in and it's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Don't fucking talk to me like that. It sounds funny, but if you've been dialed into me long enough, you know that like it makes sense. It's real, right? There is a we here. Right? It sounds funny, but when that really clicks for you, it's not an I, there is a we. So this is where like the team work comes in with yourself, where you are on your team. So when the inner bully comes in and wants to, fucking give me a hard time, it might happen for a small period, but then my self-love, that self-respect comes in and goes, wait, hold on. No. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Come back to baseline. So this is real time. This is how it goes. This is one of those moments where, and look, every time I step on and I come to record, I always want to, of course, give you guys something that will be really supportive to you in some or hopefully many ways in your life, right? And I do, my best to know my community and also intuitively, channel what that might be, in addition to just the things that I want to talk about, which is very important for me because I'm here to express myself, right? So that's kind of how all the episodes come together, outside of also Q&A episodes, right? Where you guys actually ask me questions. And in these kind of moments, where I'm just totally freestyling, meaning like in the moment, just whatever wants to come through. I hope that even if it's just an energetic resonance where you feel like, fuck, she goes through that too, or something, like even that, like if that takes some of the pressure off or just gives you a moment, or maybe something makes you laugh, or like that, hopefully that's going to be something that will be of offering to you. And if it's not, there's nothing I can do, because the most important thing for me always is to keep it fucking 100, right? Like I'm not here to try and be palatable or, this is going to go against what so many, it's just like the statement of like, give value. Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully we're always doing that, right? But I'm never going to be so outer focused that I'm dismissing my authentic self in the moment, right? So what else do I want to say about this moment? What I want to say about this moment for me anyways, is that it's just so interesting. Yesterday I was fucking charging through all kinds of work, right? And afternoon hit and I hadn't lifted yet. And it was a lift day for me. And I was like, you could take the day off of lifting. Because for me, training is just normal. It's not like, I'm not trying to battle and be consistent. Like for me, it's like I eat, I train. It's just part of my life. And so I could have totally dismissed it, like gone to the pool, would have been fine. I wouldn't have felt like I'm doing anything that I shouldn't be doing or, skipping out of work or anything. Would have been fine. But the reality for me was that I knew that I had it in me, even if it wasn't going to be like this, all out fucking, Rocky IV kind of training like I love. I knew that I had it in me, and it was more this mental game that was coming in. And there was validity to it. Like I was tired, I was just like, but I was like, those are the moments too. And there's a reason why I'm sharing this too, because it's really connected to this one. Those are the moments that are very defining to me about my character, because I took my ass to the fucking gym. And halfway through it, I was like, yes, bitch, this is it. This is why you're fucking different. Because, and different for me, like I'm not trying to compare myself to anybody out there. It's just a statement that makes me feel good. So straight up. But it was more of this moment where it's like, keeping that promise to myself feels so fucking good. And those moments where your mind wants to step in, again, if I was genuinely fatigued, I'm not a burnout girl. I would have honored that. I have nothing to prove about like, oh no, I don't push myself to burnout. Nothing to prove in that way. But I knew it was my mind. I knew it, right? And so I didn't let my mind win. I just went, I did my thing. And those micro fucking decisions, those moments where you don't let your mind win and you just go and you do, you're consistent, you show up, whatever. That's the difference between champion shit and non-champion shit, right? Because again, I could have totally just been fine and getting myself off the hook. Like it would have been okay, right? But when I was in that moment at the gym, I was like, this is it. This is like, it's not about proving your worth. Like, look, I'm good enough. It's not, no, but proving that you're capable, proving that to your own self, fuck everybody else, to your own self. This is so important, right? In that moment, I was proving to myself, like, you're capable. That even when the mind wants to come in and try and get you to like, why don't you just, like, my heart is so much stronger. And I'm not anti-mind. I'm mindset girl all day long, but your mind can't take the wheel. My interpretation is heart is spirit, heart is soul. Strong spirit will beat mind, I think, every day of the week. If you think about even, again, Rocky, right? Who I love. Rocky's fucking heart is why Rocky kept getting up. You could look at it and say, oh, it was the mind. But no, the mind followed the fucking heart, right? So strong spirit, strong heart, then we tell the mind what to do. So in that moment, my heart was like, nah, I'm not going to listen to you, mind. We're going to take our ass to the gym. We're going to get it done. And then I'm in the gym and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you do it. You beat these micro moments where your mind is trying to, have you kind of back down. And why is that connecting with this moment? Because on the way to the studio, I'm like, fuck, this is one of those days where I almost wish I was off the hook, right? Where I could have just kind of I didn't have to be in studio just so that I can really just kind of be authentic with what I was feeling. Cause again, like I'm not the girl who can come in and just be like, okay, so now, and it's not because I don't know how to manage my feelings. It's just because I'm too genuine. And again, if I was in a different situation where I had to follow through on something where I didn't have this flexibility, then I would pull hard on my self-mastery and I would show the fuck up in that moment and I would fucking make it happen to the best that I could. Right. But this is, the beauty of me having this show and me being able to just, do these kind of things and be this real, with you all. It doesn't happen often. Like I think it's happened like 3 times over almost 8 years. But usually when these episodes decide to come through, they end up being very powerful for all of you, the feedback that I have, received in the past. So again, and I can't control what the ultimate outcome is, because I actually don't even know what's going to come out of me. I'm just kind of letting myself kind of breathe through the moment. But I think if I was going to give some kind of constructive sort of takeaway here, yeah, it's just going to be pulling on the threads of my principles, right? Like, it's okay to have moments where you feel a little beat down, where you feel like, just like lower vibrational energetics are taking their place because circumstances in life are happening. Like, we are human. We're not here to avoid, that energy. We can't avoid that energy. Like, it's going to happen. Things are going to happen. We're going to feel that way at times. What we don't want to ever do is let these kind of moments crawl into our self-identity and then tell us who we are, because you become that shitty energy then, right? You become a frustrated person versus feeling frustration, or you become a sad person instead of having a sad feeling, right? Fill in the blank, right? So lesson right there. Feel the feelings, don't become the feelings. I would say another thing would be that when your mind wants to bully you, I don't care how fucking strong your mind is, because my mind is very powerful, and I mindset jujitsu shit all day. That's my work, right? And still, I will find myself in moments where the mind wants to either get me to play small, like in the gym situation yesterday, or to bully me, like I felt, earlier today. You still have agency. And I say, and I understand it might not be easy. I don't sell easy. I sell real. Turn to your heart. Turn to your heart, your spirit. Be with yourself. Accept yourself. Don't beat yourself up more. Show yourself that respect, that it's okay to be where you're at. You don't have to coddle yourself and, turn it into a whole fucking crying video. I sound like such a bitch when I say that, but I mean, come on. We all know a lot of that shit ain't real. I don't care. It's just not. Like, sometimes it is fine. But the spirit in your heart will pull you through fucking every time. When you really create a connection with yourself in your heart. And that's so much of what my work is. So if you don't feel like you have that connection, you have about 330 fucking episodes to listen to that will help you cultivate that relationship. Or you can join me on my Substack, fully plugging my writing here, because Substack is my favorite place to be online. And that's where, my writing also does that for you. It's really cultivating this relationship with not just your heart, with your mind as well, like bringing the feminine heart, your soul self, your spirit self into union with your mindset, the masculine. This is like the human party, the driver. This is like, this is again why we love and we need the mindset, because this is the executor here, right? The heart says, hey, go this way, build this. And the mind goes, I got you. We're fucking making it happen. Here's the materials. Here's the strategy. We're fucking going, right? So this is my work. And yeah, so podcast, Substack. What else? What else can I leave you with? Sort of parting words here. Yeah, I mean, listen, my situation is unique because, for me anyways, because again, I accept and almost expect moments like these to happen because I'm not playing to not lose in life. I'm playing to win. And when you're playing to fucking win in life and you're driven by mission, it's a completely different everything. The rules are different. The fucking arena is different. Who you're playing with is different. Your whole perspective, everything is different. And it's intense, right? So I expect moments like this to come in from time to time. And for me, what I like to do, and maybe this is the final piece to give to you, maybe this, however this is going to make sense for you. But I look at these moments as invitations for me to get closer to the truth in me. And the truth in me is I'm fucking capable. I'm on my highest path. I'm kicking ass. You know, it's all fucking working out for me, right? Like all that shit, right? It's an invitation to just get even more synthesized with that energy versus letting a hard day, hard moments steal you from yourself, disconnect you from what you believe to be true about yourself and what you're doing in your life. You know what I mean? Like create, because then all the negative stories start to come in. Like maybe I should, maybe this is who I am. Maybe I'm not good enough. Like, no, you have a choice. You do. You can invest in that side when you feel like you're getting your ass kicked, right? Or you can invest in the side of you from these invitation moments that say like, no, I know what the truth is. I just have to weather the storm. I have to weather the storm. There's literally a storm outside right now too. It's amazing. I didn't fucking plan on that. Or maybe I did. I am a fucking witch. So I the storm blew the flame. I the storm blew the flame. That's what I got for you. If this did something for your fucking beautiful hearts, I love you. You're welcome. Let me know in the comments in Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, yes, subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Honestly, I love you guys. This was very cathartic for me and it excites me because I know what happens after these moments. It's all fucking up from here. So I love you. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review.